What it do, it's Jedi Duke coming back, GS Tech Labs, going over daisy flower and autoflower theory. So what I'm going to go over is root space versus water space. Root space, water space. So first things first, we have root space. Root space is technically your grow media, which acts like soil in the concept of soil in a pot. And you know how that works when you have soil in a pot and the water and everything. You don't want to put an air stone in there because you're going to dry out the soil. Now, we're going to talk about water space. Water space is the same concept as you putting a lid on top, slapping a 3-inch net cup, and then adding your hydroton or hydrolyte or whatever grow media you choose inside the net pot. And then the roots and a root plug or however you have it will grow down, and then it'll have this big old ball in here, and you'll have air stone down here or air injection technology or some type of air injection device. Now, why is it called daisy flowering? Honestly, the name has nothing to do with the technique. It's just the name. Shout out to my daughter, though, who did come up with the concept somewhat. But what I did is I grabbed a little wired mesh net basket, at the dollar store. 1 gallon bucket at the dollar store. Hydrolyte right here from the hydroponics store ran me about $3. And all this right here. Now, what makes this such a great technique is the fact that you fill this up with your hydrolyte or hydroton or whatever your grow media is, and this will act as your root space. So all this is your root space. So this is going to be technically your soil, and then you'll have the rest down there as water, and it's going to look flush in there like that. Now, area and circumference are really big in this. So think about it. If you had a 5-inch net pot and it was about 8 inches long, 5 inches in diameter, going 8 inches deep, you would have a massive root zone. You see, but it's a different type, different style. So what I did is I just took a waste nest basket here, and you can see the size difference, the percentage, and the size difference, and how it sits on top, and it goes right in there like that. Like I said, dollar store, $2. Alright, now we filled it up with our hydrolyte hydroton grow media. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place this into the bucket. As you can see, this is your root space. This is going to act as your soil. The water where the air pump and everything goes is going to act as your hydroponic system, thus creating the ideal soil with the same hydroponics. And boom, there it is. Now what I would do is I would wash them. This is hydrolyte, which is, to me, I didn't know it was as dirty as it was with the last grow, as you saw, so you would have to wash it. Alright, boom, here it is. Dirty hydrolyte, clean hydrolyte. Now what I did is, I just took some regular dish soap, swirled it around, washed it out, made sure I washed the container out, and whatever fungus killer spray that you have, I highly advise you spraying this thoroughly. Rinse it down, let it dry, spraying it again, let it dry, so that way when you do place in your root plug or seedling or whatever clone into your grow media here, you don't have to worry about the mold that's going to build up on it. Now, there are pros and cons. Several pros and cons about daisy flowering. One, you're going to have mold. But if you're experienced in hydroponics and this is not your first hydroponic grow, then you know about mold, you know how to prevent it, you know what to buy, you know how to treat your plant. 2, con, in my eye, evaporation. But it's a double-edged sword. Evaporation also means air up. Now, or shall I say vapor up into the leaves, plants, they're being fed through the light. Now, some people feed through foiling, spraying it on the plants, which means they use pure water for their hydroponics and only foil with the grow and bloom onto the plant. Pro, because of vapor, which also creates a self-flush. Now, what I mean by that is if I was to take a 1-gallon bottle, that would completely fill this bucket here all the way up to the top. Now, think about it. If it evaporates a quarter of the way every single day, That means twice a day you feed it, 2 days, 24 hours, you've gone through a complete gallon of water. Root space, water space. You're not going to completely utilize 1 gallon of water in a bucket full, which only has 75% full of root space, leaving 30% of a gallon of water to use. So if you really think about it, you're using 30%, half and half of that. That's 15% out of 30, 15% from 1 gallon of water every day, self-flushing. Now I highly advise that you do still take this out and rinse it out at least once a week. Give your plants a good chance to grow. Once again, this is Jedi Duke from GS Tech Labs, Daisy Flower.